Hello, everyone, and welcome into EKU Football's Week 8 Zoom press conference. We're joined, as always, by head football coach Walt Wells, and today we're also joined by defensive back Jaheim Ward and quarterback Miles Burkett. We'll start with Coach's opening statement about last week's game and this upcoming game against North Alabama, and then we'll open it to questions from the media. If you have a question, please just message me in the chat. We'll make sure we get your questions answered. With no further ado, Coach, take it away.
All right, guys, I appreciate y'all being here today and beautiful day here in Richmond, Kentucky. Great weekend this past weekend. Really proud of our football program as a whole. I mean, just everybody involved in the program, taking on a really good Austin Peay football team, ranked 15th in the nation and all that good stuff and coming out with a victory and the way we did it, both offense, defense, and special teams, were just played well for most of the night. And when one wasn't playing well, the other one stepped up and helped out. And I think that's what you're looking for as a coach is a total team effort. Really proud of our coaches, support staff, and I want to thank the crowd. We had another amazing crowd. The hill was on fire a little bit, and just people in the stands staying throughout the game and making a difference at the end when they were going on their last two drives. I thought it was great to see and something that we've been striving for here for a long time. So proud of our players, the two that you got here today, but then many others, and thought everybody started to step up and do some really good stuff. So that being said, it's Tuesday, so the 24 hours are over. We'll talk about it right here, and then it's time to get ready for a North Alabama team that is really talented. You got a lot of really good players on that team, and I know Coach Dearman and his staff are going to have them ready to go for their homecoming game and 6 o'clock kick and down in Florence. And we have to travel, and it's something that we haven't done well this year. So we traveled well, but we haven't performed well. So we have to perform well on the road and come out with a victory if we can. So excited about the opportunity, but really excited about the week of work. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
All right, Michael, you want to start us off?
Coach, in the first half, you had a couple of huge plays. You had the 100-yard kickoff return by Mitchell and then the pick six by Vito. Just talk about those plays that you've had really all year long. It seems like in every single game, there's been one big play made by your defense or your special teams, even in the losses. So just talk about how those guys have kind of been able to keep you afloat while the offense is still figuring things out, which it did in the second half.
Well, I think when you're a coach, you preach. You see on signs around here all the time: the team, the team, the team, and that's what it's about. I mean, there's going to be nights where you don't forget to give the other team credit. They're a good football team, and they're going to do good things, and they're going to shut you down or run on you or throw on you or do something good on special teams, and you have to all three phases have to have each other's back, so to speak. And I think that's what was important about Saturday night for me was I thought we had each other's back as it came along. I mean, it was 7-0 there for a while. We had a couple of good drives offensively, nothing great, but we had some things, to keep them off the field. And then we gave up the 7. And then we came back and very next play, it got 7 from TJ. And we know he has the capability of doing that, but the blocks that went on in that, there were several really good blocks. I mean, guys that are seniors and playing a lot of football were making blocks, and guys that were young were making blocks. And so, to me, that's what's important. And then they come back and get the 10, and then and then they get to 7, then we get the pick 6 by Vito. So I think when you're playing like that as a coach, it lets you know that all three phases are invested and all three phases are, working their tail off to get the results that everybody wants, which is a win.
The Austin Peay game last year on the road, when you come from behind, you get that overtime victory. It seemed like that was the win that kind of gave you the momentum to finish off the year strong. And then you have this performance at home with the way things kind of played out. Just talk about that and maybe how you could take what you did last year and now the win this year and kind of catapult that.
I'm not. I don't. No offense to your question, it's irrelevant. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I understand why you asked that, and that's your job, and that's a good question. But it's how do you prepare? Okay, I said it in my press conference last week. I thought we had a great open week. I thought we had a great week of practice, and we performed that way against a really good football team. And make no mistake, that quarterback is one of the best quarterbacks you'll see in FCS, and that football team is a good football team. I think our players, because of their work ethic, because of their toughness, because of what they've bought into with this football team, it paid off for them on Saturday night. It won't pay off this Saturday if we don't come back and have a great week of practice. It just won't. There's too many good players out there. There's too many good coaches out there. I know everybody's getting fired right now, and so that everybody thinks there's no magic formula other than work, and you got to have some luck, and you got to work and have talented people that are willing to work and do the things you need to do, and you still may not win. And so winning is hard. I understand it's good to get all the pats on the back and all that, but they got to remember those are the same guys that are shooting you in the back, and none of that really matters. It's what matters is, are you going to perform next week, and then after that, the next week, and that's how it's got to go, Michael. Like I said, no disrespect to you on that question. I just don't. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as we have to hit a standard every week, and if we hit that standard, then we give ourselves an opportunity to win.
Two more questions for me. This one, you look at how physical that game was. I mean, that was one of the most physical games I've seen. Been down there on the sideline, just seeing how hard hitting both sides were, the trash talk. Obviously, that's a rivalry game, but just talk about that and the way your guys were able to kind of withstand that and play the way they did in that type of game.
Well, I mean, I'm proud of guys like DJ Galva and Charles Ingram who had to step up when Vito was ejected. I'm proud of how the defense rallied around those guys and the way they played, the way our offense came out, and I don't know what the final time of possession was, but the time of possession at halftime was so lopsided in their favor that we flipped it back into our favor in the second half. I'm obviously proud of our coverage units because they have explosive athletes, and our coverage units did a great. I mean, everybody talks about the kickoff return, and they should, but the coverage units did a great job. And just proud of how we came out of open week, and things just kind of fit and went together, and our players and our coaches carried it into the week of prep, and then that carried into the game. And we played, I don't want to say reckless, but we just played free. It felt like. I mean, I didn't feel like anybody was pushing in any moment in that game.
All right, last one. 10 straight wins now at home. I know that's a big key and a big goal for you guys to defend the kid, and you've obviously done that. So just talk about that and what it means for you to be able to have this winning streak at home.
That's rat poison. I mean, come on, man. I can't talk about that. I will, but I mean, you're killing me here, Michael. I mean, hey, here's the thing that I'm proud of. Our fans, the people of Richmond, our students who have done the Maroon Platoon who have done a phenomenal job, are coming out and getting to see quality football. And they're getting to see and develop pride in EKU and Eastern Kentucky University, EKU football, obviously, and being a Colonel, not just Colonel football, but being a Colonel. That's what I'm proud about. They've got something to be proud about. Now, that being said, we got to back it up and continue to do it. And, we're on the road this week. And like I said in my opening statement, we have to win on the road. I mean, that's, winning at home is very, very vital, but winning on the road is just as equally as vital if we want to continue to do try to go achieve all the goals we want to achieve.
All right, Keith Farmer, WLEX.
See, so that leads me right into that. So you do have a great thing going at home. How do you take that feeling on the road? And have you changed up any way you're doing things going on the road? After the last one.
Well, I mean, me and Jeff Griffith and Dan Breslowitz sat down last year and reevaluated some things. And we've talked about it this week and how we can do things to help our guys to focus on the road better, to play better on the road. What are the issues that occur? Some of it's on them, some of it's on us, and we have to continue just to push forward. I mean, the hardest, I guess the thing you think about playing on the road is, you don't have the confines of home. You don't have the comforts of your family coming in town. Even if they come out of town, you're worried about them getting there. You're worried about them this, that, and the other. Some of them don't come on Friday night. Some of them come the day of. Different things, and then we have a 6.5 hour, 6 hour bus ride. At 10 o'clock at night, and we get back at 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning, instead of worrying about those things, embrace those things, and understand that that's the opportunity you get by being a college athlete, and it's awesome. And that's a responsibility that you have. But, if we win every game at home, which is awesome, that's our goal, we only win 6 games. So if you want to meet goal number 2 and goal number 3, then you have to find ways to win on the road. And you have to understand 90% of these games are going to be, not really 99% of them are going to be 60-minute games, and they're going to go into the fourth quarter, and you have to be prepared to win the fourth quarter. And that's what we do. So we're trying to find different ways of taking care of them on the buses or planes, whatever we use when we go. And I say that, I don't mean that in disrespect. I mean, 6 hours, what are you going to do? I mean, you're not going to fly to Florence. I mean, it's by the time you do all the stuff it takes to fly, you're 3/4 of the way there. So why not drive? And so, but we got to find ways to keep them up and running and get their juices flowing. And I think we have some tweaks that may help. We'll see.
All right,
Thank
Dick
you.
Gabriel.
Yeah, Walt, good morning. You touched on this earlier uh, in terms of how your team played last week. And I'm wondering a little more specifically, were there things that presented themselves, things you guys did last weekend that maybe you did much better in terms of execution that you had not been doing consistently well?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, Dick, I think we didn't turn the ball over. And that was huge. There was one turnover in the game, and we talk about keys to victory being explosive plays and win the turnover battle. Well, we won the turnover battle 1-0, but we also won it with a touchdown, which was critical for us. I think we had some explosives on offense that really helped as we moved forward in the game. And I don't think we won the explosive battle, but we were right there close with them. And then at halftime, when we came out in the second half, we limited their explosive plays until the end, really, when we were playing soft coverage, just not to let them score. And they got some explosives there. And so I think that helped us as we move forward. And then the one thing that, I challenged them on was their toughness and their effort. And their effort through our GPS units was the highest it's been in a while, maybe 3 or 4 years. And so I think they came out and understood that they put, you can always take it up a notch in how hard you play. And then our coaches did a great job, especially on defense, because you do it more, of rotating our players and keeping the guys fresh in the time of the games that we needed them to be fresh.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Not seeing any other questions for Coach. Coach, thank you as always for your time. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate everybody being here. Have a good day.
Love you, Coach.
Love you guys.
All right. We'll now welcome in Jaheim Ward, the EKU defensive backfield. All right, Jaheim, you got us?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Michael, if you want to start us off, and then we'll continue down the line.
Jaheim, we asked Coach about the physicality of that game. What was it like out there playing in it?
It was pretty tough, but we knew it was gonna be a 60-minute plus fight. We talked about it all week. I think for the past 2 years, we both went to overtime, so we knew it was gonna be a pretty tough fight. We was already prepared for it.
When you got a player like Vito out there, who, I mean, he is intense, man. I mean, it doesn't matter whether he's making a play or just seeing somebody else make a play. Talk about him as a teammate and what it's like with him, obviously out there, just kind of hyping everybody up and just playing alongside of him.
Vito is a great player. He gets me going. He's a trash talker, and when Vito get the trash talk, he gets me going, gets me hyped. Vito, he's a big part of the team. He gets everybody going. Like he get DJ Gava going. Like when he got ejected, like he was talking to DJ Gava the whole time, getting him going, getting him hyped. Like Vito's a big player to the team, and we love Vito.
All right, last one for me. Talk about playing in front of the fans at Roy Kidd Stadium. I mean, a huge crowd there. The kids were there doing their thing, and what it's like when you look up in the crowd and just see those people, the number of people that were there on Saturday.
When I look up into the crowd and hear them going crazy, it feels good looking at Roy Kid and I'd be like, it's pretty deep in the stand, and we love that. Like especially when they go crazy on third down. The defense loves that. Y'all get us going. Y'all make us play harder for y'all.
I muted myself. I'm sorry, Keith or Dick, whoever wants to go.
Yeah, I was just, you heard me asking coach about, and he kind of touched on it. If you're going to reach your goals, your next big goals you want, you got to win on the road. How do you take the feeling you have from home? What has been the different feeling you felt going on the road, and what can you all change up to maybe pull some, away from Roy Kidd?
I can say the crowd. The crowd get us going, like I said. But we do got to take it. We do got to take how we play at Roy Kid on the road, and it's just our mentally focus. We got to mentally focus. It starts today when we practice.
All right, Dick Gabriel.
Yeah, Jaheim, I'm wondering, last year's team was good. Didn't get quite as far as you'd like, but you're kind of at the midway point. What is it you like about this team, about the way you're playing? What gives you confidence moving forward?
I can say honestly, what gives us confidence is just like we know how much we really can play because we really go at it at practice each and every day. So we know our real potential and how much fight we really got, and us that give us a lot of motivation.
Thank you.
All right. Not seeing any other questions for Jaheim. Jaheim, thank you so much for your time, man. Really appreciate it. And we'll now bring in quarterback Miles Burkett. All right, Miles, you got us?
Yep.
All right, Michael, if you want to start us off.
Miles, talk about the comfortability that you have now within the offense. I know sometimes whenever a new quarterback comes in, it can kind of take a while to get into a rhythm, but it seems like in that second half, you really kind of settled in and you're using your legs more. So was that something that was maybe a part of the game plan, or did that just kind of what the defense dictated?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that, dictate game by game, what's available to me in terms of getting some things going, getting some energy for our unit. I think just game by game this season, we've kind of just been trying to build our identity as an offense and find out, the little kinks of the game that work and, some of the things I'm able to do with my legs to give us, an extra running back. And then obviously some of the things in the past game we had success with this week, also gave us some confidence in terms of, getting the ball down the field in the pass game as well.
When you look at the guys out there that you're throwing to, I know we've got a couple of guys already out. Jaden West, I think he got hurt in the game on Saturday. You had Daquan go down with the injury. But that game was physical. Just talk about the physicality of that game, and then when you've got this revolving door of wide receivers coming in and out, how hard is that for you to kind of build chemistry and get reps with them?
Yeah, I mean the physicality, especially in this conference, like you're not going to have a single, game on your schedule that's not going to be a tough opponent, a physical opponent. So we knew we had to show up and bring our physicality to this game to win. And then when you talk about, the revolving door of receivers, as a quarterback, you're very fortunate to have the ability to have that deep of a room and have guys who can come in and continue to make plays, continue to do things for you, especially in that second half where we needed them to. So guys stepped up, guys came in and did their job, and that's why we were able to have some success.
All right, Keith.
Hey, Miles, good to see you again. Just, I hate to be a broken record, but asking about, just how you take that feeling of Roy Kidd and just take it on the road. What have you seen that's maybe been some roadblocks, something you all need to get past, to get these wins on the road, which, as coach said, you're going to have to do.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta bring your own energy. I think it's easy to rely on a crowd, rely on playing at home for energy, but when you go on the road, it's just 70 some odd guys and whoever, decides to make the trip down with us. But we got to bring our own energy. We talked about even the guys who aren't getting as much snaps as they may want. They got to bring energy. They got to be able to feed those guys that are on the field making plays, to be able to give them that confidence to continue and to strain through 4 quarters. So. I think we're building that confidence. I think the guys on the sideline are doing a great job of keeping, the guys on the field, pumped up, energized, and that's something we're going to have to continue to do down the stretch.
And then just, obviously in the transfer portal era, it's like a new team every year. How do you feel like the offense is shaping up now that, again, you're about the halfway point? Do you feel like you guys are getting into a flow?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like a lot of these great things, they take time, right? If things were going to happen right away, then everyone can just get a new team every single year and be fine. But that's just not how things work. So it takes time to mesh things together. We've had different moving pieces in the offensive line. We'd have moving pieces at receiver and whatnot. So we're taking maybe a little bit longer than we want, but it's coming along, and that's what you want to see. As long as it's coming along, coming together, and we're doing some good things and showing some good things on Saturday, is really all you care about.
Thank you.
All right, Dick Gabriel.
And Miles, you mentioned confidence a minute ago. Um, how would you describe the effect that win Saturday had on your team's confidence? It was basically described as an upset, even though you guys were at home, they were nationally ranked. You needed that win. What did that do for you guys emotionally, especially going on the road now?
Yeah, I think we have a very young team, some inexperience on our team, so all across the board, we still have a lot of guys, and just as a team in general, we're still learning how to win. So you have a lot of guys who their confidence can be based on results, and that's not because they have a lack of emotional capability to handle some of those things, but that's just what inexperienced young players go through. They got to see it happen to get that confidence. So wins like this, especially wins against really really good teams, it lets you know that these things are possible, and it gives those guys that confidence that when we come out, we execute, we play physical, we play tough for 4 quarters. We can hang with anybody and we can beat anybody. So especially in this conference when we're going to see more and more really really good teams. So we have to maintain that confidence, but also not let a win last week bleed into the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right. Not seeing other questions. Thank you all so much for being on the press conference call today. Miles, thank you so much for your time, and we will see you all next week. Thanks, y'all.
I appreciate it.
Yep.